say a few things and welcome all our guests.
All right. Not about just money. I just want to say thank you. First of all, to the group that is here in front of us, because they're the ones who had this wonderful idea and being able to put a space that is so important for our women veterans, because a veteran is not a veteran, is not a veteran. Each one of us is different, and women have very specific needs, and it's important that we, as those who serve veterans, do take those needs in consideration and act accordingly. So first of all, my job is going to be to introduce our dignitaries, because you know, this is very important to all of us. And when our representatives and senators make time out of what we know are busy schedules, we really appreciate that, and their staff. So with us is Senator Jan Angel. Good morning. And she represents this district, and I know that this is her home, because you know she's very possessive about it. We have Representative Christine Kilda. You know, she's a veterans advocate, just like Senator Angel, and she's proposed several bills also to be able to help veterans and their families, such as you know, Senator Angel has. Representative Dick Murray's LJ Rohr. Thank you for representing him. You know, it's really appreciated. Aaron Hallenberg, he is representing Representative Michelle Caldier. And Pam Penford, and she's representing Representative Lou McCune. And finally, Mary Clarkston, representing the House Democratic Caucus. So now that I've done that, my job is done.
First, I want to say, without a great director and folks like Mary Forbes and Steve Hill, my immediate boss, folks down in Olympia that support this team, this wouldn't be possible. But this wouldn't be possible without the great team that I have. And I'm just going to introduce them, just have them just stand up and wave right quick. Because without them, my job wouldn't be as easy as it is today. Because they make my job easier day in and day out. They head off a lot of the stuff and issues that goes on when you have clients that live here where you work. Sometimes that can be difficult. And we have to also sometimes take a deep breath and help each other out. And they have done a wonderful job and a tremendous job of helping me out every step of the way here. And that's right here is Chris. And Chris is just fantastic. She does all my financial things. She keeps us now in the black. And then my lead case manager, Melissa, and you know, this is still talk, but this is kind of her baby, so I'll let her talk about that later. Carrie is just everything here. She does all the planning, getting all the different agencies to come in here and work with the veterans. You know, we got folks from here from WorkSource, and then we have a lot of different folks from Catholic Community Service and different organizations that come in here week in and week out to serve our veterans. And Carrie puts all that together all the time. And the next person is Juan. Juan is kind of our caretaker of all our vehicles and just managing the things that we have to do around this building. And it just kind of makes this function, it makes it work all the time. Brandon here. He's also a case manager, and we kind of stole him from Olympia. And
Yes, you did.
Yeah. you know, we don't pay him the money that when you get drafted or steal someone, but he's just a team player and he's great for it. And this next person is one of our house managers, and Mark. Without Mark being a peer support, and when you go up in the women's lounge to see all the work he did, and the people that helped him and assist him. Without him, this would not have been possible. He did a tremendous job. So thank you, Morris. Donnell, stand up here. Donnell's a service officer. She works for VFW. She's one of our partners here. She also works with the community. She does a tremendous job working with the community and also working with our clients here at Building 9. And the next person I'm going to introduce is Linda. That's a WDVL person here. She also works in the service center with Donnell, and they both kind of work hand in glove together because without a partnership, we can't get it all done by ourselves. And this partnership make it work for the community and us at Building 9. So, and the next person is our savior. And Tony is VA liaison for our grant and per diem program, and he's housed here most of the time during the week. And just to have someone like him here to have that, hey, are we doing this right? Are we doing the right thing? And he'll talk a little bit also about the grant per diem program, but he makes this also very easy for us when we have someone here that works for a grant per diem program for the VA to make our jobs much easier. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa.
Thank you everyone for coming. This is actually quite surprising coming to the floor here, and that's really exciting because like Dennis mentioned, we did put a lot of thought and effort into making this happen as a team. It's always been a necessity at Building 9, so there has been women here. They've been on the second deck, and sometimes there's, there used to be males down that wing, and it wasn't a problem, but just talking about comfort levels for males and females living together on that wing with whatever issues that they've had in the past and trying to overcome them and be successful in their future. They really needed to not be stressed out about, coming out of the bathroom and making sure they were completely dressed and had their robes closed and all that kind of stuff. So we wanted them to focus on themselves and have a peaceful and quiet place to be able to do that where everybody could feel comfortable. So just kind of on a whim one day, I went to Dennis and I said, hey, why don't we turn that side into an all-female side? Because we actually kind of had turned sides, so there was actually about 8 or 9 women, I believe, on that side, and only 4 males left on that side. So it was kind of weird, and then I had about 6 females trying to share one shower, and I was like, well, that's not going to work. So, and because the one with the 4 shower stalls was what the men were using. So it was just kind of an idea that we kind of decided to run away with and see what happened. And it was interesting to get the client feedback about that, because all of the males and the females actually came to different staff members at different times and told them how much better they felt and more relaxed they felt, and they thought it was such a great idea to have individual spaces for people. So it's just something that's really great. If you're being in the military, you kind of know men and women are separate. They have their separate spaces that they can go to sometimes. And that's always just a nice thing, especially in a stressful situation like this can be, to have that peace and quiet and comfort level that you might not have in other places. A lot of places also, they take women and children, where we don't have children that we can take right now, but that's also a good thing because some people, depending on their past experiences, might not be able to be around all of those different situations. So it's good to have a place for females without children or that are going through a tough time to be able to come here and be themselves and find out who they are again and progress and be successful when they go into permanent housing, which is the ultimate goal here. So thank you all for coming, and I'm going to turn it over to Tony, our VA liaison.
Hello, my name is Tony Sparber. I'm the GPD liaison for here, and GPD stands for Grant and Per Diem. So what this place is, and what a bunch of other places like this around the country are, is a partnership between the federal VA and local homeless care providers. It's been in place for several years. There's currently about 13,800 GPD beds nationwide, and the primary goal of GPD is that it's transitional housing. So from the very first minute that people walk in here, our idea is how are we going to get you out of here? What kind of plan do we need to put in place to get whatever, do we need money, do we need employment, do we need to apply for disability, do we need to get you into substance abuse or mental health treatment, that kind of thing, and get you on the path towards independence. The goal of this program, like it is with the VA, is to transition these veterans as quickly, but as competently as we can to permanent housing and with supports if that's what's needed. These people have been around here. This program has been around here quite a while. Before the president's 5-year plan to end homelessness even went into effect, these guys were already making a difference in the lives of veterans in this community. There's 13 of these programs in the Puget Sound catchment area. Most of them are in King County. So on this side of the water, there's actually an 11-bed facility down in Olympia, but for Pierce County, for Kitsap County, for most of Jefferson and Clallam County, this has been the option since they've been in business. So this plays a vital role in the local area as far as helping homeless veterans goes. Also on top of that, locally, these things are, the VA used to be this big monolith on a hill that really just, when I first got out of the military, I didn't even know what the heck was going on up there, or if I even belonged up there or whatever, but they've decided that they needed to branch out, and it works better if you are in league with the local people and you are working out locally in the communities to get this stuff done. And so it took a little bit of time, but they have finally embraced that philosophy. So and this program has jumped right in and helped there too. The mayor of Bremerton had started a program a couple of years ago to end veterans homelessness locally, and the people that have worked here have played a key part in making that happen, making sure that the point in time counts were accurate, making sure that there was a single point of access for veterans in the community as far as like where they can go for help when they need it, instead of, in the old days it's like, well, I can't help you, you need to go across town and talk to them. So we came up with a plan to make sure that the veterans had a single point of access. So, and one thing that I wanted to say when I was listening to Melissa talk is that when we screen for people come in here, when we screen for females, I've noticed that the younger females are coming in and they've got different issues. It's mostly PTSD and combat-related stuff, and that stuff now, stuff that you didn't by and large see, from the older female veterans. And this, I think what they're doing here is going to help with that need, because when they would come up here and we would get these female veterans going, wow, I don't know if I want to come into this, male program. And, of course, Melissa's great at, showing them around and telling them how it's going to be and seeing if this is right for them. But this is just the next step in that progression. So I think this is really going to help out. The younger female veterans, are coming back with more problems and that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to be able to provide a service here for them. So, yeah. I don't know who comes after me. I will be around. I'll be around afterwards. My card's in the back. If anybody needs it, wants to answer any questions or anything like that, let me know. And I've got some data as far as VA's partnering with the communities back there if anybody wants to take that back with them. Thanks.
Okay, so I have time, but I'm going to give my time to Mary Forbes, because I will tell you it takes a leader that has foresight to be able to make the decisions in putting the right people at the right place at the right time, and being able to make sure that a program remains viable, because this program doesn't get a lot of funding and it should be self-sufficient, and it was not before Dennis Brown came into this into the position. The program is self-sufficient, with the help of everybody. But I also want to recognize a person, and Melissa, thank you for the thought, the idea. But I want to make sure that, somebody who did a lot of the physical work and everything that took place to be able to get the place ready, Mark, can you please come up? You know, WDVA has a point of excellence, and this is our point of excellence for excellence in service, in recognition for the work that you did to be able to get the place ready. You know, being the house manager and, you know, the work that you've done on yourself to improve yourself is remarkable, it's appreciated, and, you know, stay with us for a while, okay? Because what you're doing, you know, is amazing, and we haven't seen it yet, but I know that, you know, we're gonna be well earned for it. Okay. Thank you for
Let me have just a few minutes, because I have been here about 7.5 years and just been able to see how this program has really grown and embraced our veterans. And you know, some of our guiding principles are that the veteran and their family are the centerpiece. And here today we see how our women veteran is the centerpiece, where everything we are building is around that women veteran. But the second big guiding principle is really about our partnerships and our relationships and really our friendships. And that's what Dennis and his team's really done with our federal VA and our veteran service organization, our elected leaders, our mayors, all of our folks. We have to do this. It's all the sum of the parts. Not any one of us can do all this by ourselves, and Dennis and his teams really embrace that. And you know, the next part is really being customer service, one-on-one, experiential, so that woman veteran feels like she wants to be here, like she wants to get back that quality of life she once had. She knows what right looks like, and this is going to be like a perfect environment for our women veterans to really get that back through their health and also through all those soft skills and all those things that are important as they grow. So I would like to just thank Dennis's leadership, as Alfie said, because he has really taken this and went to the next level. He's very open-minded. He's very easy to talk to, but he also has very high discipline. Yeah. Okay, and he has a couple nicknames because he holds the line. I mean, you can be very nice, but you can have very high discipline and very high expectations. He brings his team together, and this team's come together and really has performed like they've never performed before. So I'd like to thank you, Dennis, all of you, and thank you all for being here today. The word women come here. See what it looks like. Our women veteran, help us make this place better. Bring your friends. So thank you.
All right.
Well, we're going to do a few tours, so we're just going to go up to the 3rd floor and do the ribbon cutting, and then we have refreshments if you want to come back down and have some refreshments and everything. But again, though, it's a team effort. You know, me playing football at the UW and then going on to pro, you know, I was a running back, so I know if someone didn't block for me, I'll get hit in the backfield. And many days I walked away sore and mad at one of my linemen. But if it's not a team effort, I can't do it. And like I said, they make my job much easier than possible here, and I love that. And Steve, and I have to give my immediate boss, Steve, has just been a big help when I'm meeting him and for support and everything else, and he's just been wonderful to me, and I can always go to him. But and when I look at this crew, and when I came here and I took over this program, you know, one of the things I talked about, even with the veterans, and I know I was called sometimes a lot of things. The Big Bad Wolf is now my nickname, but putting everybody in their lane. You know, you got to drive in your lane, and you got to do your job. Don't worry about anybody else's job. Don't worry about anybody else's issues. As I tell the clients, you got to stay in your lane and worry about your stuff. You know, and that will make you a better person. And I don't want it comfortable here. And it's not a fair place. And I told people they want to go to a fair. There's Puyallup Fair coming up. Because this is not a fair program, and I don't want it comfortable. Yeah, and that's what we talk about. We don't want it comfortable. We want them to move on. We want them to get life skills, pay their program fee, and then move on to something better. Because I once said here before, if your 18th month look like your first month, then that's on WDBA. That's on us. So we got to move them along, and we move them out of here fast, and we work with them. But they make it possible. You know, I'm the last resort. They don't want to come to my office. When Mark was doing some cleaning upstairs, he tells this story. He said And the guy said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not mopping the floors. And Mark said, well, I'm going to take you down to the Big Bad Wolf. And Mark said he took it and just wiped the whole thing. But because they know, it's just that you do have to instill some discipline. My father was Second World War, a lot of military, my brothers, and both were in Vietnam, so I know. And my mom was a tough one. She was a tough matriarch, and we had a lot of discipline in my family. And I instill that in this group of veterans that we deal with, because somewhere along the line we have to get them back to be productive persons in our community, and I am going to do that. And I tell you, if someone hates me and they get housing and get their lives together, God bless them. I'm for that, but we're going to. Melissa and Brandon and Carrie, they do a wonderful job getting our veterans together. So without them, this wouldn't be possible. So what we want to do, and Carrie, I'm going to say, we're going to walk some folks around because our elevator is down. So what we're going to have to do is kind of walk around and then go up one flight of stairs. So, and if you can't go upstairs, then we'll walk all the way around and then go through the gate.
Oh, okay, I want it.
So we can do that. So just to let you know. So Carrie will guide everyone around. We'll just go to the. We'll just going up.